Today's video will contain some speculation I would consider to be responsible enough to be spoilery. If you want to avoid potential plot points for the future of Star Wars Resistance, you might want to skip it and come back at the end of the season. The latest episode of Star Wars Resistance, The New Trooper, finally answered the question, why is the First Order so interested in the Colossus? And it's pretty much the most obvious reason. It's a refueling platform and they want to use it to refuel their fleet. Castellon is located on the Outer Rim near Wild Space, which is itself on the edge of the unknown regions. The First Order built their forces out in uncharted space, so having a refueling station as a staging ground for the invasion scene in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and the Poe Dameron comics makes perfect sense. However, some visual information from the episode, The First Order Occupation, hints that there might be more to the situation than we realize. An escape pod launches underwater, and as StarWars.com puts it, we get our first look at just how big the station is below the surface of the water. I read that, thought, oh cool, it's really big, and moved on. But Dan Fitchtel on Twitter pointed out that the structure's design could be a clue towards the future of the Colossus. The shape of the platform is awfully similar to Skystrike Academy from Star Wars Rebels. So is it possible that the Colossus is actually a mobile space station? The fact that StarWars.com tells us we've only seen our first glimpse at the size of the Colossus tells me at the very least we'll see it again, but I think it's likely that yes, it was once an Imperial station that has been repurposed and maybe even disguised as a stationary platform. Maybe it was once under the command of Captain Doza when he was an Imperial, and he just kept it when he left the Empire. I also think it's interesting that Sonara took the last escape pod, suggesting that at one point the crew needed to abandon ship. What I don't know right now is how common this knowledge is if it turns out to be true. I would guess the First Order knows, but most of the citizens probably don't. I think that would work as a good reveal by Captain Doza, who would explain that the First Order getting control of the platform would be far worse than we originally thought. We'd get to raise those stakes through an unexpected twist. I assume having a mobile refueling platform would be more convenient for the First Order rather than having to send their ships all the way to Castellon constantly. I also wouldn't be surprised if there's even more to learn about the Colossus. Maybe it houses a weapon of some sort, or I've speculated before that it could be the site of one of the Emperor's Imperial observatories, all of which were said to be located on the Outer Rim. Whatever is on there, by the end of the season, I bet we'll see the station take flight again to abandon Castellon, which frankly I think is a brilliant idea. I've guessed that the show would follow a similar structure to Star Wars Rebels. Season 1 was largely on Lothal, and then when the larger rebellion came into the story, we started to travel the galaxy. In Season 1 of Resistance, we stay mostly on Castellon, a water planet that would keep the animation budget down, but in Season 2, I'm guessing we'll see more locations. If the Colossus is mobile, that can remain the home base of this Resistance cell, but it could still travel the galaxy. All the sets designed for the show so far would still be usable, again saving on the animation budget, but the larger setting could change from episode to episode. Now that Disney knows what kind of audience to expect from the show, they can afford to be a little more flexible in future seasons. And who knows, maybe they'll pull a Rogue One on us in episode 9 and we could see the Colossus as part of the Resistance fleet. Okay, now I'm getting into the irresponsible speculation, so I'll pull back. I have no clue if any of this will turn out to be true, but I think there's a lot of evidence for it, and I love the overall idea. So, what do you guys think? Is there more to the Colossus? What do you think we'll see from the platform by the end of the season? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.